Alright, so disclaimer. This is the worst thing I've ever written in my entire life. Also, this is 18 plus, so if you listen without headphones, you'll probably get beat to death. Alright, the title of this piece is called The Amazing Twilight Sparkle X Mordecai Regular Show Fanfic. Ooh woo. Mordecai had awoken in the same bed as usual, but in the middle of the night, unlike his normal routine of waking up much later. The night sky was a dark blue hue, and Rigby was asleep on his trampoline in the corner. Although he was tired, Mordecai couldn't seem to be able to fall back asleep, no matter how hard he tried. It was only when he stood up that he noticed a slight figure in the corner of his room obscured by the dark of night. It was short, standing on 4 legs with large eyes and a horn poking from what seemed to be its head. No, Mordecai thought. It can't be another unicorn, can it? Perhaps, but this unicorn was much different from the other ones. It stood on 4 legs, and for some reason, he felt he could trust it. Mordecai moved his arms toward the small creature, and it began to move. He gasped at her presence. She was purple, with gleaming indigo eyes and majestic dark blue and pink hair. She was magnificent, maybe even beautiful. He was taken aback by her allure. He tried to speak, but she stopped him with her hoof, softly whispering, "Shh." He stuttered, Who are you?" She laughed and inched closer to Mordecai and his stunning body. "You don't know me," she started, whispering in his ear, which made Mordecai shiver in anticipation. "But I know you, Mordecai." She giggled at his surprised countenance. "I'm Twilight Sparkle. It's nice to finally meet you, my love." Mordecai blushed hard. "Twilight," he mumbled. How do you know me?" "I've been watching you for years, my dear Blue Jay. You've captured me with your endless charm the moment I created the dimension-hopping portal. I've dreamed of meeting you for years, to kiss your soft beak and feel your fluffy feathers under my skin. But my portal could only allow me to look. I can never touch you, and you can never see me. I've been in love with you for so long, I spent nights and days trying to perfect the portal magic, repeating this one song about airplanes. And it took so long. But finally, Mordecai," she lifted up his beak to her face with her hoof, "we can finally be together." Mordecai smiled. He did not know who this weird horse lady was, or if he was on some really bad acid trip. But he also hadn't added up in quite some time, and, as a simp, he was willing to take anything as they come. He embraced this weird yet weirdly attractive horse chick and flipped her over so that she was under him. "Yes, that's perfect!" Twilight purred. "I've been waiting for so long!" Mordecai stuck in his already hard-as-rock penis in her. There was no foreplay. He was just kind of happy to be doing it after like 5 years. Granted, his dick was kind of small. Not exactly 2 inches small, but smaller than the average. But he doubted these horses had dicks bigger than 5 inches. Even if he did, he didn't seem to care because of how much she was undoubtedly screaming Mordecai's name very loudly, like they were in some sort of hentai and Mordecai was her Oni-chan. Anyway, Twilight Sparkle was screaming like a feral hyena on crack while Mordecai began to pound it faster and faster. For some reason, Rigby was still fast asleep while this was happening, and nobody in the house really knocked on the door either. For all Mordecai cared, they could be dead, but he had Twilight and her shimmering eyes, and that's all that mattered to him. He lasted about 30 seconds, and by the end of it, he was basically banging this horse lady faster than a heated cat on steroids. He released his hot load into her, and Twilight Sparkle let the loudest screaming orgasm he had ever heard in his life, which wasn't saying much considering he'd only done it with 2 women who both left him in the middle of the night and ghosted him. 'Twas the life of a lonely simp. But again, this didn't matter, because he had this cute pony girl to keep him company. They both finished, and Mordecai fell on top of her, sighing and laughing feverishly as he pulled out. So, how was that?" He grinned. Twilight smirked and inched closer to his ear, causing the hairs on the back of his neck to stand up. "Who said we were over, Mordecai?" The purple horse whinnied. Mordecai winced. "What do you mean, Twilight?" From somewhere, God knows where, but somewhere, Twilight pulled a 10-inch strap-on dildo with her horn magic. Or shall we say horny magic. Mordecai gasped at the sheer size of Twilight's purple sparkling dildo girth. He blushed a deep red as Twilight climbed on top of him, licking his cheek. "Are you ready for round 2? She giggled. Mordecai nodded. He didn't know why he was ready. This mysterious pony had some sort of effect on him. He felt like he would do anything for this forest girl he had boring 30-second missionary sex to, even getting pegged. Twilight mounted the tall Blue Jay and stuck her strap-on far into him, doing it doggy style. Mordecai gripped the sheets while Twilight pulled in and out of him harder and harder. While doing so, he started to question how every life choice in his life led up to this very moment of him getting pegged by a purple unicorn. And what's his bestiality? He gets if he was actually part bird, it didn't really matter. And what if she's pregnant? What would their children look like? For he did not know, and for a moment he felt like screaming, not because of difficult philosophical questions, but because Twilight had found his G-spot, and he was moaning loudly. He was actually enjoying this sweet and sensual moment, and for a second he was certain he would forever. Of course, it was only for a second, because once Mordecai opened his eyes, he realized Rigby was awake on his trampoline recording the whole thing, trying not to laugh in the dark while he watched his childhood best friend get pegged by a purple unicorn who brought a dildo bigger than his own penis. Mordecai was embarrassed, of course, but not for long, because in one pulsating thrust, Twilight got him to come again. It was an improvement at 40 seconds, but still, his ass was completely torn apart, and despite his smile, Rigby was probably mentally traumatized. Twilight mounted off of Mordecai and turned him back around, staring at his eyes. They were full of love. By the time they finished their rough ass-splitting sex, the sun was up and fully illuminating the room a golden waterfall. They both looked at each other and smiled. Mordecai, my love, I cannot stay here much longer. My portal magic only allows me to stay for a short amount of time. I loved every moment we shared together, dear Mordecai. She kissed him softly on the lips and sighed. I promise one sunny day we will meet again. Until then, farewell, my dear Mordecai. She left in a purple flash of light, and then she was gone, leaving a strange song stuck in the corner of his mind despite never hearing such things. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Mordecai felt an odd sense of loneliness after she departed. He attempted to walk, but his asshole was so torn apart he could barely move. It looks like he would have to call in sick today if Benson would let him. Rigby still didn't say anything, fiddling with his camera, attempting to post a video for clout on every existable furry kink website he knew. On any normal day, Mordecai would stop him from doing this, but he was still stuck in a trance from the night before. As far as he knew, it didn't matter what anyone thought of him. It doesn't matter if it made him a cuck or even a furry for enjoying fucking a horse who's better at sex than him. As far as he knew, the sexy equine creature still loved him, and he would wait years to see her again, to feel her insatiable horse cooch on him again, even to have a 10-inch cock shoved straight into his ass again. He missed every last bit of it. Oh, dear Twilight, he thought, please come back soon, for he had missed her deeply already.